So I want to talk about how YouTube has changed my life. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Now, when I first started my YouTube channel, I didn't really know anything about it. You know, it's 2017, May of 2017 to be exact. And I was this young kid who was ambitious on starting a YouTube channel and creating YouTube content. Yeah, I didn't know anything about microphones. I didn't know anything about lav mics. I didn't know anything about lighting. Much is displayed in this video right here. I'm going to try to brighten it up a little. I didn't know anything about lighting. I didn't know anything about podcasting. I didn't know anything about equipment. I didn't know anything about the soundproof walls. So what I started doing about after my 10th video, I started watching other YouTubers. And I started paying attention to their setup. That's why I made a video displaying my setup and everything like that. I started paying attention to what they have. You know, from everything from lighting to, basic little knickknack. And as you can tell, this is my complete studio setup, from the neon light to the podcast mic right here, to the table, to the chair I'm sitting in. So I just wanted to emulate what I was watching. You know what I mean? I wanted to learn technically and emulate that in my videos. And by the grace of God, in 2024, I was able to get the equipment I needed. And it was a complete haul. I started making unboxing video after unboxing video after unboxing video. What I thought I needed was the camcorder, or the Amazon camera, as I would like to call it, or the Rebel T100. I thought I needed those, but I didn't need it at all, so I gave those away. And I started recording a lot of content from my phone, going back to the basics of when I first started my YouTube channel. And that's another thing I learned on YouTube. It's not always about video quality. If your audio sounds complete garbage, no one's going to listen. No one's going to tune in. So I started learning more. I started paying attention. I started writing down notes. I started, saying to myself, okay, what am I going to need for my channel? What am I going to need for this? What am I going to need for that? And I started watching many different YouTubers. And it blew my mind. You know what I mean? I was doing everything wrong from the jump. Yes, it's okay to just start with a phone. Sometimes you got to start with what you got, and whatever lighting you have, whether it's a window, whether it's a stand-up light that you have in your room, you have to make do with what you have. But I went about everything the wrong way. I started getting all this equipment in the beginning that I really didn't need. But it was a prelude to my podcast, so I really couldn't get upset. I had a silver Samsung microphone with a tabletop microphone and a white pair of Sony headphones. And I would never use them at the beginning. Like when I first started my YouTube channel, I never used them. I kept it in a box, and it was in my closet by my front door. So one day, this is in 2019, one day I got the bright idea to test out the audio to see how it sounded with my microphone and my headphones plugged up. And I was well pleased. It blew my mind. It was a whole different spectrum. I was watching a YouTuber talking about, many different microphones for beginners. One he displayed was the Samsung tabletop microphone. It was a retro design, all chrome microphone. Then it was a Blue Yeti. Then it was a Sony mic. And I couldn't afford the Sony mic. It was $400. It wasn't in my budget. And that's another thing I learned we're going to get into in the next chapter. So I was like, okay, cool. This is the most budget-friendly mic that I can afford. I already have headphones. I don't have to go out of my way to get headphones. Because I was learning more about sound. As you can hear a nice little echo, but I am using my my Movo Mini Duo UC wireless mic, and it's catching most of the audio because it's omnidirectional. So it's catching most of the audio. Sorry about the hollow echo in the background. Like, our apartment really isn't that packed and everything like that. But so I learned that you need to have a well-lit room. A well-lit room is not a room with a bunch of lights. A well-lit room is something with soundproof walls, or you have books that act like your soundproof walls. If you don't have enough to get soundproof walls, you need a bunch of books that stacked up because the sound can't hit the wall. The reason why it echoes, and this is just a side note, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why if you create videos or podcasts and it sounds like it's echoing, it's because the sound is hitting the walls and coming back at you in a bigger wave. And it creates that echo reverb sound that you hear, when you put your headphones on and you play back the audio. So I learned that, hey, you're going to need soundproof walls, you're going to need a well-lit room. So what I did, I converted a corner, as you can tell, into a podcast studio. And that way, if I'm ever recording from this angle right here, I can record and the sound is bouncing. I can hear it. It's bouncing at the soundproof foam and it's coming back at the mic. And that's when I'm recording using this little bad boy right here. And because when I first got it, I didn't have my soundproof walls. And like a lot of my podcast episodes were echoing. So I really was frustrated with that. And I learned that, you need to have sound. You know what I mean? Like you need to have sound over video. Because you can have the most grainiest, blurriest video, but if your audio sounds A1 day one, absolutely perfect. And yes, I use that terminology. I learned that terminology from watching the BMF series. But anyway, I learned that if your audio is perfect, people will tune in. They'll watch. They'll listen. They'll go, okay, cool. I like this guy. I like this lady. You know what I mean? They're talking facts. It's because nine times out of 10, 99.9% of the time, people are going to tune into a video that they can hear clearly, fluently, over a video that looks perfect, 4K, 8K, whatever, and has crappy audio. Now, when I was indeed, recording content from my Amazon camera, the $100 camera that I bought, the audio was absolute dog water. And when I say dog water, I mean absolute garbage. The visual quality was awesome. It was like cinematic. You know what I mean? It was like a professional YouTube video that you would see today. But the audio was trash, so I couldn't use that. But I learned a lesson, though. You get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to segue into another part of the video. You got to know your budget when it comes to setting up your channel. You may not have enough to buy something like this Ray Leno studio light. You might not have enough to buy a tabletop microphone or any of this fancy little stuff you see here on this table, or even a wireless lav mic. Sometimes all you have when you start off is just your phone and your voice. And you have to know how to utilize that to grab your viewers' attention. Because YouTube runs off of one thing. It runs off of viewership, yes. How many viewers tuned into your video, for how long and all that. That is called retention. And if you can keep the viewers' attention, hey, you have a popular video. But I didn't know anything about that if I wouldn't have paid attention and watched other YouTubers. But anyway, they also taught me you got to know your budget. If you want to upgrade and get a tabletop mic, do research on microphones within your budget limit. You don't ever want to rob Peter to pay Paul. And that's a biblical reference to mean you don't want to starve yourself. Yes, you want things to take off. I wanted things to take off of my channel. I still struggle with that. I only have 149 subscribers. But, I know the growth is going to come with time. But when I first started, I was in such a hurry. After I got the tabletop microphone and I got the Sony headphones, I wanted more. And I was like testing out different lav mics and tabletop mics and everything like that. And I put myself in a rut. While I didn't cause myself to be homeless, by sacrificing my rent money to buy equipment, I was taking all the money I could, improve my apartment, like sound quality wise. Like I never bought any soundproof walls or anything like that. But I was buying microphones and everything like that. I was recording in my walk-in closet that I had at the time. And while the walk-in closet was perfectly solidified to catch the sound, I didn't have need for like 3 or 4 mics. I didn't have need for 4 lav mics. You know, because at the time, they were like $10 at Best Buy and everything like that. So I was just copping lav mics left and right. But I was like hurting myself because I needed that gas money to go to work. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, cool. I need to buy food for my house. And I was taking some of the money out of my budget to buy food to actually buy this equipment. So you don't want to hurt yourself. Know your budget. Set aside a budget and say, hey, you know, this is what I'm going to spend on my dreams and goals. And this is what I'm going to set aside for what I need for right now. Because when you have a dream, you still have to think realistically. You know, it's fantastic to think in a grand scheme of things. It's fantastic to see the bigger picture. And I suggest that you see the bigger picture, but also think realistically and think, okay, cool. Will I sacrifice my mortgage money? No, so that I can kickstart my dream. Will I sacrifice my rent so I can kickstart my dream to be a fashion designer? Will I sacrifice feeding me and my kids to start a YouTube channel based upon cameras and angles or cinematics? You know, you have to think realistically and say, hey, you know, this is fantastic, but at the same time, I need to do better. You know what I mean? I need to know my budget. I need to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do for right now. And when I have some more free money, then I'm going to do some more research on more products that I'll need or equipment that I'm going to need for my YouTube video. Anyway, so now that we went over the basics of, you know, knowing YouTube from budgeting to product, now comes implementing your style. And I'm going to show you a few things that actually helped me out big time. So, as you can see, this is my little studio setup, right? As you all know, you've seen the video probably several times, dozens of times, you know, all over the YouTube feed. But anyway, so what helped me set this up? Because I thought about it, what would be comfortable for me? I thought it from a perspective of, okay, I want access to each and every item on this table. Now, mind you, my pen cup is over there. It's a Reese cup. You know, it's a Reese's cup, actually. And I have all my pens in there. And in case I have to sign any paperwork or documents for my kids or something like that. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. My dogs are barking in the yard. But anyway, in case I have to sign any documents. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. My camera froze, y'all. But anyway, in case I have to sign any documents for my kids, or in case I have to sign any paperwork, all my pens are right there. My laptop, I can just flip open because my microphone will not work. It's not accessible without my laptop. So if I flip the laptop open, you know, it's not in the way of my mic. The only reason why it seems like it's in the way because I have it flipped that way. You know, because I don't want to be making arm movements and smack my tabletop mic. That wouldn't be a fun idea. But anyway, everything is easily accessible and set up the exact way I want it. This is my in particular style. And everything is just laid out perfectly. You might have a different style. You might have a style where, you know, you might have some plants, flowers, paintings, and stuff like that. Everybody's style is different. You know what I mean? Everybody's style is absolutely different, and that's okay. You know, that's absolutely fine. So know your style. Know how to implement it to where when you showcase it off of your videos, you know, it doesn't look like someone else's studio setup. Because one thing, right? Oh, I gotta fix the camera, y'all. I gotta fix the camera. Fix the camera. We smacked out of range. We smacked out of range. But anyway, one thing you don't want to get striked for is implementing another YouTube channel. So, in that saying, ladies and gentlemen, rep your own style. And that's what I learned myself. Have your own style. I used to do one of those YouTube videos where I was walking around the house talking and everything like that, or I would just record from my kitchen table. And I started seeing a lot of YouTubers do the same thing. I said, okay, cool. I want something different. I want my videos to stand out. So in 2024, when me and my wife, you know, we started getting established and everything like that, I was like, okay, cool. What I want is a whole podcast setup. I've always wanted a podcast setup, you know, for my videos. And some YouTubers, they have podcast setup as well, but this is my setup. You know what I mean? This is not nobody else's. This is my setup, and this is what works best for me. Everything was within range. This mic can swing. I can open my laptop, as you can tell, without it being in the way of my microphone. So this is my style. This is the way I like it, and this is how, you know, I keep things. So you got to know your style. You got to know how to implement it. The way you speak in your videos, that's another part of knowing your style. You have to have your own tone. You can't be like watching somebody else's video and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to copy them, down to the vocabulary. Because the algorithm is going to pick up on that. And then the YouTuber who makes that type of content, you could be talking about sneakers and watch someone else's video and say it in the same manner as them. They're going to pick up on that. That YouTuber is going to pick up on it, and then the algorithm is going to pick up on it, and then you're going to get a strike. And I'm like, nah, I don't want my channel striked. So what I learned, ladies and gentlemen, was have your own style. In closing. So, another thing, if you can't master your speaking, meaning speak professionally, speak clearly, speak fluently, it's okay to revert to a script. And for all those who don't know, hold on, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get you a demonstration of a script. So this, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, is a script. It is a script written by me personally, and it teaches you what to say. You know what I mean? You don't have to like look at it like, yeah, so it says here and read it like that. No, you can have it set. If you have a multiple phone holder, you could have it set above this phone, you know what I mean? Or any camera you might, say for example, you might use a camera. And long story short, right? You might have a camera. You could put this phone right here that you're, it might not be this phone in particular. It could be an iPhone or whatever. But have it above your DSLR camera or your regular, you know, mirror camera or your cell phone, and just read from the script while you're doing the video. And just try to memorize some lines as best as you possibly can, and keep eye contact with the camera that you're recording from as best as you possibly can. Hold on, guys. The whole purpose of a script is if you can't articulate your words. Sometimes I deal with it. I struggle with it too. I might, you know, say something in a video and I might stutter. I might or I might cough like that, or I might say yeah. So that helps eliminate that process. So that way you can make your videos as transparent, as informational, as, you know, exciting, and as fluent as possible. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in this video were the things I learned that helped me and how YouTube has changed my life. I know it seemed like kind of an informative video, but the information I taught you guys is what helped change me, because I didn't know anything about lighting. I didn't know anything about sound equipment. I didn't know anything about microphones. I didn't knew anything about vlogging, you know, and that's another one I'm going to get into before I close out this video. Vlogging is quite the experience. It's kind of immersive, if you could say. It's an immersive experience because vlogging is like I'm on the go, I'm running errands, or, you know, I'm on an adventure, hiking trail or something like that, and I'm recording this video as I'm, you know, going on this adventure, you know, almost as if the viewers are going on an adventure with the YouTuber or the content creator. And one thing I've always wanted to get into, and I've started to get into more often now, is indeed vlogging. In fact, I'm going to drop a vlogging video probably here shortly and have it up on the channel for you guys tomorrow. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here are the things I've learned that really helped me out as a content creator, as a YouTuber, and things that changed my life. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. I thank you all for tuning in. Smash that thumbs up button. Comment in the comment section below what you enjoyed about it, what you didn't enjoy about it. Subscribe to the channel for more helpful content, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.